And we're back. Judd'z Budz, episode 92, the Liam Ogre and Farjestad episode. As always, your host, Spokes C, joined by my good buddy, Mr. At State of Hoppy. Hoppy, how we doing?
Good. You seem like you're in shambles right now.
I live in shambles. I'm always in shambles. I am a shamble. I am multiple shambles.
Compared to your standard way of living, you seem like you're in shambles. There we go.
So you're saying I look great. Thank you. I feel great. Feeling awesome in shambles.
Nothing to do with physical appearance. It's just you're kind of like bouncing all over the place.
I think a screw fell out of my chair while I was on the phone during work today because it's like I heard something drop and then now it's making more noise. And there's definitely a screw. Me and my chair have a screw loose. So I'm it's really annoying right now. And I'm just noticing it.
You should definitely won't run with that for the title for the episode.
Yeah, it's fine. There's a screw. I'm not going to get it right now. How are you doing? Do you have a screw loose? Are you in shambles? Like, what's going on with you? Anything good?
I mean,
this chair is insane. I am losing my mind. I'm losing my mind right now with this fucking chair.
It's what the people are here for. No pressure. Katie Dynison tuning into this pod over running to the Wild YouTube page to watch the new Beyond Our Ice. This better be good.
Yeah, it won't be, so that's fine.
Had bad life choices.
Thank you, though, Katie.
Appreciate it.
What a week. Hockey's happening. More weird stories around the NHL. Not a whole lot of prospect talk for Minnesota just because a good amount of them are either the Christmas break. KHL just came back, and a bunch of them are off to the World Juniors. But we'll touch on a couple guys. But where should we start?
I mean, let's start with the beginning of this week where if I told you that we had Phil Gustafson playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins and Marc-Andre Fleury playing the night after against the Boston Bruins, and that we split those two games, how much of your personal wealth would you have invested in the Bruins being the game that we would have lost and the Penguins being the win?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I absolutely hammered Minnesota every way possible last night. I knew the Bruins were going to lose because I don't believe in them anymore. Fun fact about me. What I would have said is I didn't expect on the Gustafson starting against Pittsburgh over Fleury thing. I know like pretty much anything that ever happens, pretty much people are going to have a full diaper over. I didn't expect the entire hockey Twitter universe to like collectively lose their minds. Like I was like scrolling. There was like one of the days I was actually scrolling through Twitter and people were like, this is a fucking disgrace. What a piece of shit organization.
Disrespect.
Like the disrespect. And then like in my head, I was thinking, I'm like 90% sure he's always said he doesn't really like playing against Pittsburgh. But then I saw he was a little bit disappointed, but he was still smiling. Yeah, there you go. So the thing that was most like surprising or shocking is just how upset everybody was. That wasn't like, again, I'm not used to really a whole lot of reactions about the Minnesota Wild outside of Minnesota at this point. Whenever there is anything, like any kind of reaction, it's always just miserable. Like this sucks, dude. I don't know.
I think the perfect comparison for it, though, is the news of late where, thank God, it got overturned, where they were trying to make the War Road High School hockey team change their mascot from the Warriors with their awesome logo that is very much supported by the indigenous in the area. Like most of the team and community are like Native Americans, and it's a bunch of people who have nothing to do with it. A bunch of white people who want to get upset for them that we're trying to mandate a change. And it's kind of the same thing here with Fleury, where it's just a bunch of people who like, why the hell do you care at all about what's going on? Let's all get riled up when Fleury's like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, like literally, Fleury was like, he texted that dude from the Athletic, Rob Rossi. He's like, hey, man, because Marco Rossi scored the other day or whatever. And he was like, haha, I said Rob Rossi, haha. Like, the text is so fucking funny. It's like, meanwhile, this is Flower reacting to anything. It was just weird, dude. Like, it was like beyond strange. Like how, like it was like a personal slight to like fucking Columbus Blue Jackets fans. Not, I don't actually think any Columbus fans are chiming in. They're busy being miserable about their own hockey team. My God, they are so bad, but they kicked the shit out of the Sabres last night. Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just one thing that I was just like, what is going on? Like, why are like the weirdest thing to get up in arms about? But
it was pretty cool though that fans were immediately like the second a goal was scored on Gustafsson chanting for Fleury.
Yeah. Well, the way that he played the next night in Boston, I don't think they wanted him to come in. Because my God, was he unbelievable last night? Or well, sorry, what day is it? Wednesday. So my God, was he good 3 days ago?
A few nights ago.
Yeah, something like that. Because it's coming out Friday. Fun fact. But that fucking penalty. First of all, great comeback. Score 3. The fucking penalty. I can't. Your boy, Christopher, has done this so many times. Part of me says that's really fucking annoying. Other part of me said, you know what? It works. Good for you. But it drives me nuts every fucking time.
No,
which is
reasonable.
Which is the right thing. Like, I feel like that's where everyone should probably lay it on.
Both things can be true. It can be annoying as hell, but it can also be really smart for him to do. And I was actually surprised, like kind of out of character. I mean, not out of character recently for Russo to go and lash out against fans that are in his comments, because I would if I was him. Jesus Christ. But he, like someone asked, like, I don't know, he keeps getting away with it. Why wouldn't he do it? And Russo's response was integrity, ? Being able to look self in the mirror for playing game fairly, ? And I'm just like, no, I wholeheartedly disagree when we're sitting here in a league that has players that admit that the only way to be good at faceoffs is to cheat as much as you can without getting caught. Mm-hmm. Do you have any problem with Chris Letang doing it besides, yeah, it's absolutely annoying as an opposing fan?
Yeah, that's it. It's the whole thing. It's just fucking annoying. And again, I don't really have, I can't be up in arms about it and only be angry about it when I am from the city of Boston, Massachusetts, who employ Bradley Marchand, who like does that shit that he murders people, gets away with it quite often, and then scores somehow because they end up on a power play when he takes someone's head off. So I don't really have that much to stand on that front. But yeah, it's fucking annoying. My thing is, if you're a referee, you know that's like with how often.
Yeah,
you know it's coming. And like the thing was, clearly Kaprizov wasn't even looking. Like that's the thing that always drives me. Like he had no idea he was even fucking there.
Yeah.
And like I don't think thinking I don't have the video in front of me, but like when I remember watching it like 7 times, being like, are his hands in an unnatural position? Is he a little bit higher? No. So like my whole thing is how, like, of all the things that the refs know, and we know that they have a book on like most of the guys, if they've reffed them enough, like they know the same shit that they're gonna do. How do you not see that? Like or how do you let it surprise? Like, oh yeah, no, that's definitely a penalty on Kaprizov for standing there and getting his hand run into. But it is what it is. Good for Letang for pulling it off for so long, getting away with it, and
I think it makes it more impressive. It's way more impressive that he's done it for that long. I want to ask you, though, the other one that had people up in arms, which, like, I'll be the first to say, I think it's a pretty ticky-tacky call. I wouldn't have called it, but the penalty on Hartman, where he, of course, drew the 4-minuter, like, I don't think it should be a penalty, but I can at least watch it and be like, okay, I can at least see where if the ref is trying to get a call, I guess by the book, that could be argued as interference, but it is still a wild sequence to have that be what came of it.
That was shocking. Like I'll be like that one. You have to like work hard to make that a penalty also on Hartman. Like you really have to do some mental gymnastics. I mean,
they reviewed for a while.
He quite literally was just like moving. He was just like, he didn't do anything. And like when he does some stupid shit like that, he's not sneaky. Like he is not a sneaky guy. Like that one with Marchand, which was very funny because they definitely went to the box and they were like, "Hey, a big fan of your work, bro." It's like, "Yeah, man, you too. Yeah, matching tooth, nice." It's like, cool. And they were like, "Cool, have a good one." Like, big fan of your work. I tweeted at the time. I was like, "Am I losing my fucking mind? How is Hartman in the box right now? What did he do?" I mean, that's kind of just how it is with referees. And listen, I would be a dog shit referee. So as much listen, Brian Burke always has, because he used to run the refs when he was back, that he was like, "We have the best referees in the world." I don't agree with that, but there's no fucking chance I could be a good ref. It's just like sometimes I'm like, usually I'm like, that's really annoying. That's a bad call, but like whatever. That one I was like, what the fuck are we even talking about right now? Like, it takes a lot for me. Like, I can't even possibly see how, like, the fact that, like you said, they looked at it and they're like, yeah, no, definitely a fucking penalty. I was like, are you nuts?
Yeah.
It's what it is, though.
That's fine.
And like, I would be remiss if Sidney Crosby is just fucking unbelievable. In case anyone was wondering, if you weren't, he might have a future in this league.
Unbiased.
This fucking guy is insane.
If they make the playoffs, how is he not winning the Hart?
I'd be a big fan if he did it because they threw some money at that one preseason.
Yeah, what was it, 70-1?
Yeah, 75-1 or something.
So dumb.
He just every year. I guess I'm not even like expecting him to slow down at this point, but it's just wildly impressive that no matter what the situation is, that motherfucker balls out every single year. And we are at the point where that tweet started going around a couple of years ago. It's like, is Sidney Crosby somehow the most underrated player in NHL history? Just because like he does the handful of very flashy plays, but he's kind of just like, yeah, I'm going to go at about a 1.5 point per game clip my entire fucking career. And never slow down. Everyone's like, yeah, it's like he's so good. People are kind of like, yeah, just do this thing. What do you mean? He's the same guy. He's just nasty forever. One of the best players of all time. He's what's he got? 18 now? Jesus Christ. Like his motherfucker is insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy too that he's probably got again, assuming good health, because he is one head hit away from probably never skating again. But
remember how close we were to that being a thing?
Oh, do I know how close we were to that being a thing? Yeah, I lost quite a bit of sleep over that. But if he stays healthy this year, he is going to be in the top 10 all-time NHL points club, and he's still going to have another 3 or 4 years easy if he wants to, and again, avoids being hit in the head. So that means probably shouldn't play any game that Trouba or Wilson are a part of.
Just sit that one out. Never made more than 10 million a year, by the way. It's crazy. Yeah, we
can thank his superstitions and OCD for that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everyone's like, oh, he's such a good guy, took a deal. Like, no, that guy wouldn't be able to function if his contract was 8.7 mil.
He's actually, no, it's not him being a guy. It's him. He's just a fucking psychopath, actually. He is mentally unstable. Or it's just like too stable, actually. The same exact thing. He's just stable as fuck, dude. His entire life every day is the exact same. The guy sees in black and white. The other even see everything is does the same shit, same exact steps. Yeah. He's insane, but I mean, that game looked like it was gonna get real bad real fast. So again, depleted lineup, and now they're even more depleted. But like, just yes, they still lost in regulation, but I mean, impressive that they even got to a point where it was a game, because it was looking bad, like horrible. But good for them.
Yeah, and Cole brings up here on the topic of Crosby with the head injuries. How about Nolan Patrick retiring from head injuries?
Is he retired?
Nope. Mateo and Guntote and Granny both chime in here that he didn't, which is a bizarre story because it came out initially, Cole, this is not new. Like the initial release was that he retired. And then it just popped up a couple hours ago, I think, from Elliot Friedman, like reached out to him for comment. He politely declined, but did say he wanted to make sure that I was aware that he has not officially retired. He just wants to kind of fly under the radar for a little bit and see if he can make it back.
It's just so fucking sad, dude. He was unfucking believable. Like, people forget that, like,
he's sick.
It was very much like he could go first overall. Like, and then, you know, all of the shit happens with these head injuries and he's missed so much time. You're like, oh, wow, look at the Flyers really missed on that. I was like, no, they didn't really act like you can't. That doesn't count as a fucking miss. And he did have like a season and a half before he really went down with those injuries, where he was playing very good for the Flyers. Like that year that they were in the playoffs and like made a little run, like he was very, very good. And it's just like, dude, these are the head injuries. It just sucks because, like, I think who were they? Like when he was with, was it last year with Vegas? But I think McKinnon fucking hit him in the head, like away from the puck, and it was like, bro, like, what are you doing? But it sucks, dude. Was he 22 years old? Is that what we said? No, he's gonna be old now. Yeah,
yeah. It might be
like just fucking brutal.
Sad, regardless. Yeah, it's not good, but
it sucks, dude.
Hopefully at some point he works his way back in. Probably not going to count on it. And honestly, for his sake, like I kind of hope he doesn't, because again, he comes back and takes another hit to the head. Now you're talking like life-altering damage.
Well beyond hockey.
I'd rather not have him go that route personally, but his life, do what you got to do. Got to ask here, Z, because I don't know. Aiden Reek comes in. Is Johansson finally waking up 30 games later? What's your thought here?
Big goal. Finally, what was it, 25 games without a goal? And he finally popped one last night against the other night against the Bruins. It's just weird because, like, again, I said this, I think it was last week. Every game he does make like enough good plays. It's not necessarily just playing all that poorly. It's just like clearly the confidence disappeared after he goes a certain amount of games without scoring, stops shooting, looking to pass everything. But like still making some good passes, will make a good defensive player. They're good at transition. Like the little plays that just do not end up on the score sheet. Like it's been there the whole time, but you know, those only could take you so far if there's no real like tangible results on the back end of it. But like hopefully this is just gonna, you know, get some momentum going for him, especially now that they've got Zuccarello on injured reserve now, not just day to day. So that sucks.
Not day to day, not week to week, and definitely not going on IR. We have now reached IR. It's just kind of ridiculous. For me though, man, with Johansson, it's not that he's doing nothing. It's that the reason he's here hasn't been realized, right? He is here because he can skate and move better than anyone on this team. It opens up space. It's great for like actually getting into the offensive zone. And he hasn't been that guy. Like maybe a couple of spot moments here and there, but he really hasn't been that guy. And that guy was a difference maker on that second line last year. He's just vanished.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, that's what I was saying. It's yes, he makes the odd play here and there that's like a good play, but it doesn't really amount to like anything on the score sheet. And again, like you said, when the whole reason they brought him back and it was like, hey, this is like kind of like a sneaky, like almost off-season pickup, kind of, just because he came at the deadline last year and they re-signed him, but was like for Boldy. And it was like when they were to play together, it was not going well for either one of them. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully this will be a bit of a spark. It was a great goal for him. Of course, back in Boston, I that was the one fucking bet I didn't make. I should have made that fucking prop bet that he was going to score. Because again, there was no chance the Bruins would win that fucking hockey game. And I had a feeling Johansson would fucking tuck. Then again, I think I tweeted about like 18 of the 25 games. JoJo, goal tonight, book it. Finally,
Eventually,
when I didn't say it, it happened. So if I never say his name, he'll just keep scoring every time I don't say it. So
Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls.
That being said, his name is JoJo, not Mojo. Anyways,
fair. Now on the flip side, though, do we talk here? We got a couple commenting in. Kirill is so back.
He was
Kirill def back. Where do we stand on Kirill Kaprizov? That was specifically the third. I think it was the third period at Boston. Oh my God, he was in demon mode. Like to the point where even when Marchand scored to tie it up, it was like, oh, Kaprizov's gonna win. Like it's whether it's in regulation or overtime, you could guarantee it was Kaprizov that was gonna call game. Like he was a fucking animal. And sometimes it almost just feels like when he's in his slumps, like honestly, just start fucking shooting. Because like when he just gets the puck and rips it, it feels like whether it goes in or not, it just kind of gets in his groove. So like the more he shoots, I'm telling you, it's this weird thing where it's like, even if it's like missing the net, it almost is still, if he at least can just get a shot off, it's like there's a noticeable difference in his play. Like he does have like an extra step, but like, especially again, another guy that if Kirill is so back with Zuccarello out, they're desperately going to need every ounce of like good hockey from him. So again, hopefully he can sustain some success here. Like, but yeah, no, that third period against the Bruins specifically, he was insane. It was terrifying. What do you think though about the first line of him, Boldy, and Eck?
It's weird. Him and Eck just have never been like a great combination. They tried to make it work for 8 minutes last year. It didn't work. But like historically, it hasn't been a good pair. And like when it's him and Boldy, usually they're on the ice together on the power play, and it looks good because they're just a threat from either flank. But like at 5v5, I don't know what it is, because realistically, Eck, he's kind of just at his best more when it's a line of like grinding the opposition down, like working hard below the net, and then him just being a pain in the ass in front of the net and just like potting them out there. I think Boldy and Kaprizov, I just don't see it really working at 5v5, so I don't know. It's those three. It's a weird because like in the past we've seen Eck and Boldy be really good together. And their games kind of match up where it's like, yeah, Eck's gonna go grind, but Boldy actually plays super hard too, and he's a dual threat where he's a phenomenal passer. He can rip it. His release is like, it makes me feel things. When he is just like gripping and it is insane. The amount of power he could just get is crazy from like no wind up. It's unreal. But those three just never really worked together, which is just so interesting.
Yeah, disband it. And dude, that shootout goal that Boldy had, where he just ripped the top corner, that was the most effortless shot I've ever seen. That was just
the thing. Boop. Oh, it's sick. I love when they like those shots specifically where it's like they're just like not moving and all of a sudden it's in the back of the net and it's going like shelf. It's unreal. It's so fun to watch, but it's weird. Like I keep thinking like with that line specifically, it's like, I know we just mentioned Eck, but it's almost like he's he's so fascinating to me just because like his like underlying numbers would tell you, yes, he's a very good like possession player, but like realistically when he's at his best, he usually doesn't have the puck. Like he is again being a pain in the ass and like winning it and just getting rid of it. But like in terms of like transition or like offensive zone, like cycling the puck, you don't like it's not when he's at his best. It's just kind of like he's gonna make a little play, get the puck out, win it on the forecheck, get it out, and then go to the net. So it's just like interesting how it's like, yeah, it looks like if you just didn't watch it, yeah, that's a good possession player. But in possession, it's like you don't really want him to have the puck. It's just a very weird. That's why I think that's a big part of that trio, just not really being a big successful line. So I don't know. There's only so many options that they're going to have with these injuries, though.
No, totally. And Katie Dickerson continues chiming in. Appreciate it. I love Eck. However, I still think that top spot should be Rossi. First, not even necessarily that it should be Rossi like on the first line. I just think that, to your point before, Z, I think Eck and Boldy have been good together. I think we've seen Rossi and Kaprizov be good in spurts this year when they've played together. The real question then is, who do you stick on each of those lines with those pairs of two?
God, Zuccarello being out like throws such a fucking basketball wrench into it. I'm trying to think because, like, at this point with Foligno, I don't know if there's enough like offense for them those three to work with like Eck and Boldy. Gaudreau's interesting there, where it's like throw him on right wing, throw Boldy. Actually, I like Boldy as off wing though. Yeah, I know, right?
Mateo's got one here that I would have loved, but again, it's too late because of the fund rules that we can't. We got the roster freeze. I think Beckman would be real fun on either.
Yeah, I would love to see Beckman with Eck and Boldy.
With either of those pairings. I don't even care.
Yeah, I don't really care. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The one that could be interesting, to be honest, with like Rossi and Kaprizov both kind of being more the finesse angle. Again, both can score, but both definitely profile more as playmakers. Just for a couple games, just to humor me, throw Patty Maroon up there. The guy can finish. He's going to get to the net front. He's going to be the first one in the corners. And we've seen him do it at times this year. And again, for a pretty unphysical line, at least bringing that element in and not being a huge detriment to the skill. It's not a long-term solution, but while you're filling holes right now with everything that's happening, I think it could be fun.
Yeah, I don't hate it. And even like just throw in a line out there of like kind of chaos where we're just gonna, I know we had just mentioned the pairs being together, but even if you wanted to go with like Maroon, Eck, Foligno, and then Boldy, Rossi, Kaprizov, why not? Like, fuck it. Like, let's just see it. Cause like Eck, Foligno, and Maroon would be miserable to play against, at least miserable to be a defenseman fetching a puck. Just knowing someone's on their way to slaughter you and you're not going, you have like half a second to get rid of the puck. And then just let those young skilled guys just cook. No rules. Don't even tell them what to do. Just like, go score goals, do offense, go have fun. Do your thing. Pond hockey. I don't care. It's interesting to me. And like, it almost gives you that version of like, you just like swapped out Maroon and Greenway where you bring back that grief line look. So like,
yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. I'm also like, why not just take Hartman and throw him on wing with Rossi? And
yeah, that was the other one.
Like,
yeah,
accomplishes something very similar to what we're doing with Maroon. Plus, he
rip last
is
night.
ready. He wants to get back up there, and he will do anything he has to say.
First shift, he's gonna be on his fucking worst behavior, get suspended again. Like, God damn it, I got too excited. Yeah, Hartsey got too excited. He fucking decapitated somebody first shift. Wouldn't have the puck.
It's just like Evison being like, all right, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to yell at refs again. Very next game. What are you doing?
You said that's my say.
You know that as soon as he gets hired somewhere, that's the video that I'm throwing up. Hands down. Like, well, this is what you guys get for playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
The refs love it. I don't know. And so this is going to be a time too, where we talked about before with Hines, we talked about before, if they get into a good groove, they have the opportunity to kind of see what he's got with different combinations. At this point, if the injuries keep piling up, you have no choice but to see what you have with different combinations. Because at least one staple on every line, one pair that's always been historically good together, it feels like someone is hurt at all times. So you just have to, at this point, mix it up and just see what these different combinations look like. So I have to pull up their schedule too, who they got coming up the next few days. Are they in Montreal?
We got Montreal tomorrow / yesterday, depending on when you're tuning in. And then Saturday is Boston. No?
Right.
So that's the next few games.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, throw the lines in the blender. Who cares?
Right. Figure it out. See what happens.
Yeah. The more I think about it, though, I kind of do want to see them try out Maroon, Ek, Foligno, because, again, that line is miserable to play against. They're going to be crushing guys. And, again, we've seen that mold of player work with Ek and Foligno before. So, and I mean, Maroon and Foligno have been fun together, just watching them do that. When they've been on the ice, they have been running people. It's oh, Jesus Christ.
If that fits too and has staying power, think about the possibility then of, great, that's your third line now.
Mm-hmm.
You get Rossi and Boldy on the second line.
Right.
You reunite Hartman with Zuccarello and Kaprizov because it works. And you just got to fill in that last guy on the second line. All of a sudden, you're a way deeper team. And then you've got the psychos on the fourth line, which is just.
And again, we haven't even mentioned Johansson either. So,
I guess he maybe ends up in that spot. Yeah. But, dude, do we need to make a new rule that Connor Dewar can't fight? Because he's going to hurt himself. That was bad. Really bad.
They dropped the gloves, and I was like, oh, Dewar, don't do it. Don't do it. Because, again, Lauko again. Which, by the way, so he's number 94. The best, one of my favorite things is he's not just a 4 Loco. Everyone calls him 94 Lauko, and we'll edit photos of a Bruins jersey, but make it the 4 Loco. He is a lunatic, but he was just itching to get back to the lineup, and it didn't matter who he was fighting. He would have eaten 15 bombs if he had to. He was gonna get one off no matter what, stand up and get the crowd jacked up. And he landed 3, probably 2 or 3 good ones where it was oh, that might be lights out. Yeah. He was it was that was going to be bad. No matter, there was no way. And it was weird timing. Right after they scored, I didn't think it was great timing in Boston. They haven't seen a fight in a while. They're going to get fired up if that happens. And it was right off the draw. And I think it was a minute or two later, Pastrnak scored. And it was just felt not the right time to go, but at the same time, it's kind of why I love Connor Dewar. He's got no fear. And I thought his night might be over because Joe Smith was just Dewar down the tunnel. He ate some big ones. I was just yeah, that looked. It was just specifically the one that sent I think it was the one that sent the helmet. I was oh no, that could not have felt good. I need these two teams to stop fighting each other, by the way. I am miserable the whole fucking hockey game.
Thank you. I was just about to ask you, what's the psychology in these games? This is weird that we get to analyze these in back-to-back nights.
Every game.
Me watching Penguins against Wild used to be something where it's oh, whatever, someone's going to win and that's cool. This game on Monday, it was whoever loses, it's really, really bad that they lost. just given how the season's going for both teams. And it just like wasn't an enjoyable watch for me in any way.
Yeah. My thing with Bruins Wild is my problem is just the fact that ever since everyone shit themselves over that Frederick hit on Kaprizov, those two teams despise each other. And every time they play, there's at least one or two fights. They are murdering each other. Yeah. And like, there's legit hate. And I'm sitting there. I have both Bruins fans and Wild fans tweeting at me, like calling me a dickhead. Like, I'm just like, I literally can't enjoy. Everybody hates me. I didn't even do anything. The day that, like, when Frederick hit Kaprizov, I had people like tweeting at me as if I was Trent Frederick. And I was like, I did not do it. Like, I was there. I did see it live. I didn't do it. I didn't tell him to hit him. I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it.
Did you stop him?
You motherfucker. I was like, I didn't fucking do it. Yeah. It was fucking, I don't know what it is, but now they fight all the time. I can't enjoy it. I'm always worried about someone fighting and getting hurt. Like, God damn it. Like, this sucks for me. It's not an enjoyable day for me. And now they're coming up again.
Yeah, we know it was Cosgrove and all 5 of his burners that were heckling you.
Yeah, probably. But yeah.
Last current Wild roster note that really has to be addressed. And Katie, again, really appreciate all the engagement here. Can we talk about the stud that is Brock Faber? 30 plus minutes in his last 4 games and only 1 goal scored while he's been on the ice. Damn. And actually, one of those 4 games, he was a peasant and only put up like 28 and a half minutes. So like, that's not even really that impressive, which is so funny that people make that joke where like a 28-minute game just once is a big deal for a defenseman. He threw that in caked between 30-minute games, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
what can't he do?
I mean, he's a machine. And again, like, I think most people are pretty confident that he would be fine. And I think there were some people like, yeah, hopefully he can just like keep his head above water because they're going to need him to play big minutes. I don't think anyone thought that he may need to go 30 minutes. And if that's the case, you're probably sitting there like, oh, everybody that has ever put on a Minnesota Wild sweater who at least played defense for 1 game must be injured. He's playing 30 minutes a fucking night at this point. But he is just legit. Like, and now you have people throwing around the numbers like, should he be getting like Norris looks? That's a bit aggressive for me. But at the same time, you're sitting like, well, who else is throwing up 30-minute? I know it's crazy. And
he's doing it like successfully with an objectively not great team.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like, not only is the whole team like pretty hit or miss, but he's doing it because like 2 of their best defensemen have been on and off hurt either separately or at the same time, whatever. And then he's like, oh, that's fine. I'll just make up their minutes. Don't worry about it. And again, the fact that it's like, yeah, they're kind of doing it out of necessity at this point, because like, if you have fucking like John Merrill or Goligoski or Bogosian on the ice for like more than 10, 12 minutes, like we're in a pinch here. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, maybe that's part of it. But at the same time, like he is, as we said, like easily the best defenseman on the ice for them every night. But like shutting other teams' best players down for 30 minutes. It is unbelievable. It's crazy.
Is he already the best defenseman on the team? Like, are you willing to yield that or not quite yet?
This year, yeah. But
no, like, I mean, is he their best defenseman?
Yeah, right now, I guess he is. I have a problem probably just outwardly saying that 20 whatever games in. But right now, like he's been this whole year, their only reliable defenseman every game and playing the hardest minutes. And now, like, whether or not they're scoring every fucking power play, he is on their power play, which wasn't even like on the radar coming into this year or like realistically for a whole lot of his career. Like, it was never looked at as like a power play guy. So
Do you know how happy it makes me when people are like, everyone's going and asking the different analysts and experts, like, hey, do you think that Brock Faber should be PP1? And they're like, well, it'd make more sense to have more of like, a number 4, number 5 guy that specializes as a power play guy. But since the Wild don't have that, yeah, it makes sense for him to play there.
Weird. I wonder who that could have been if they,
Can you imagine if the Wild could acquire like an early 20s right-handed, offensively inclined, like no joke, can quarterback a power play type defenseman? It'd be pretty. God. Like if you find a guy like that, don't let him go. I just hope Bill Guerin's up to the task of finding a guy like that.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
All right, I'm off that. I'm good. But Brock Faber, freak. He won't win the Calder because the league is rigged, and Bedard will win it no matter what. Even if he got hurt right now and was done for the year, he'd probably win it. But it's just crazy that people have already made the jump to tired Calder, wired Norris.
It's crazy. It's the whole playing 30 minutes. It's just
wild.
I just do that. It's fine. Plus he, what was it? 2 assists the other night too.
One got taken away.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck, I fucking hate when I do that shit. It's really, I get they want to tack on points later, but it's fuck him. Fuck that guy.
Well, it's funny too though, because I saw someone talking on Twitter about how it got taken away from Faber because they think McAvoy got control of the puck before the goal was scored. Literally the exact same thing happened on one of the Bruins goals where Faber was actually the one in McAvoy's position.
Right.
And they still gave the assists to the other guys. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's no fucking consistency, but I mean, it's great because Brock Faber is obviously, their best player this year, realistically, the defense forward, whatever value's been there the whole time. Fiala's been great for LA. I know people have to win or lose the trade. Everyone has to have a fucking. I love, because the Kings are very fun to watch. I love Kevin Fiala. He's very happy and he's playing very good hockey. Yeah. And I love Brock Faber. I like the Minnesota Wild. And it seems like he is where he's always wanted to play as NHL hockey. So it's everybody's winning. And it's no. Our trade was better though. Fuck off. So at least the Wild also got the first round pick. So there you go.
Right. 2 comments on that. First, it's dumb to need to win. I think it's more so that so many fans were so angry about the trade that everyone else is trying to be like, oh, really? I think it's more retaliatory in nature than it is being like, ha, let's go back to this trade that happened 2 years ago. We win.
Right. Yeah. It's just, again, that one, I guess. Yeah, you're right on that front. It's also
defend fans on that.
Yeah. I just love everyone who had never heard of Brock Faber or just yeah, here he's an okay defenseman. Be this is terrible. This is the worst thing that's ever happened.
He was a 2nd round pick.
Disgusting. Hate it. Hate him. Hate his family. Terrible trade. I am right. I am always right. I should be president, GM, owner of the Minnesota Wild.
Yes. And that is how Bill Guerin got nominated. No. So the one thing I'll say though, for actually evaluating the trade, throw it in a blender. We'll even leave out the fact that Ugrin's part of it, which, come on, that has to be factored in. But
Captain
Team Sweden. Yes. All right. Look at that. We just checked another topic. Done. He is captain. Move on. If you literally can decide, but if you're LA, do you want Fiala for just under $8 million, or do you want Faber on an ELC right now, especially given the state of their roster where they are loaded on offense and their blue line is thin? I gotta think that they're kicking themselves a little bit for the trade. Not like they don't want Fiala or think that that's bad, but man, can you imagine if we held on to this guy?
Yeah. I don't. Well, he definitely wouldn't be getting the same type of like role, anyways. Just because Doughty's there, he's gonna be playing 20 whatever minutes a night. No, yeah. I don't know, because I think Fiala adds kind of a different element to that offense where it's like they've got some of those big boys up front, like a Byfield who's just like, I mean, he's just a dominant freak of nature, 6'5", 2, whatever.
No, he's a bust.
A fucking giant animal. Like they've got the big boys who can like play that way, and then you have Kevin Fiala, who's just like skates 1,000,000 miles an hour, is legitimately absurd offensively. So I think he gives them that dynamic too, where it's like, hey, if we can survive this shift going up against the line with all the big boys, it's like, okay, all right, who's up next? Then you have like Kevin Fiala just going 7,000 miles an hour, like just deking everyone out of their fucking skates and then going shelf. That's just another element. But I'm sure that it's funny because then you could flip that too, where it's like, do you think the Minnesota Wild would kind of like to have that offense stuff too? It's like,
yeah, except they can't. There's no world in which they could afford it. There's the difference.
Right, absolutely.
And like you look at LA, right? Right now it's working great. We're waiting. It's gonna happen. Talbot's not gonna be able to do this forever. And I don't know if that means he'll break in a week or if he'll break in the playoffs or if he'll break next year. But if you have Faber, now you got 6 to 7 mil to put towards actually getting a number one goalie.
Yeah.
But again, semantics, just arguing for arguing's sake.
No, it's good. It's just funny because it's like both teams have situations like, yeah, that guy would probably look. I mean, realistically, though, at this point, with the level of Faber's, that there's no chance that you would even rather have like
that's what I'm saying.
30 a night. Like it's
not a slight
in the league for 11 minutes. No, I know. It's just I don't know. Either way, trade looks great for both squads because both guys are just doing their thing. Plus, Minnesota Wild also has captain of Team Sweden, Liam Ogren. So
that's right.
It's a crazy deal. If all three of them, well, 2 of them look like they're definitely hitting. If Ogren also hits, where it's just like, how many trades have you seen where it's like a multiplayer trade where every single one hits? And it's like, this is great. Like, I feel wonderful.
Hall for Larson. That's it. It's the only one.
Yep.
Sorry. Gotta ask you, especially after watching your Bruins get beaten by the Wild on a back-to-back, Matt Poitras going to Team Canada. Explain why this is happening.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I think like a month ago, I would have like, nah, like no chance. His plays dipped. I mean, no one really thought he would make the team out of camp, but it looks like he's kind of just like hitting that like wall where it's just like not quite as effective, making more and more bad plays. Like, I mean, he's got scratched a few times, been benched a few times, like decision making's kind of going. He just looks like exhausted, which is completely understandable. So it's an opportunity for him to go back to the World Juniors, play against kids his own age or younger, and kind of just like be a fucking beast. I'm sure he'll have a lot of fun too. It's like an opportunity for him to just go play and like not have to worry about like the same stuff he'd have to worry about the NHL level. But we'll see what happens when he comes back. Like that's always what's interesting to me, where it's like he goes there for a couple weeks, plays against like, yeah, there's good games against like USA, Sweden. He's playing good players, but then like, you know, they always have one of those games against like fucking Denmark where they win 14-0. And it's just like, let's see what it looks like when he comes back to the NHL. First game back's against like fucking Colorado. It's like, here we go, and we're back, and fun's over. But I mean, I don't think anyone was really all that surprised. Like, it just like wasn't working as well as it was obviously at the beginning of the year. So again, it's better for him to go play there instead of like sit in the press box or playing like 10-12 minutes a night, because by this point too, he like was pulled off that top line, so he wasn't getting like the same level of ice time anyways. So yeah, not a huge deal. Now they just look even more thin through the middle of the ice. It's crazy.
I mean, with fans saying that he was the next Bergeron already, it seemed like a big shock. But between if he's getting sent to the press box, and with this being a year, as Isha points out, Denmark might actually beat Canada this year.
Isha's been going nuts.
Yeah, yes. But World Juniors is the only thing that he cares about almost as much as wrestling. So
the WWE.
Oh, if you disrespect the WWE, I'll break a table.
Yeah, throw you through one.
Q asks, do the Wild get the W on Saturday with Friday off, and they're at home against Boston, who's in Winnipeg on Friday? I mean, I don't know. Have we learned now that whichever team's playing the back-to-back wins between Boston and Minnesota?
Right?
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. God, it's going to be a pain in the ass, too, because, like, Winnipeg's another team that, for whatever reason, like, a couple of years ago, they had one chippy game. Now, every time they play, it's an absolute fucking mutant fest where everyone's trying to kill each other. Then it's going to be back-to-back. It's going to suck for me again.
It's Isha's favorite game of the year. It's basically wrestling.
I know. I think the Wild probably take care of business again at this point, honestly. Like, the Bruins just look, every game, even when they're winning, it's like, they don't look very convincing at all. They have essentially no offense now, too, outside of, like, Pastrnak and Marchand, which are two.
Sounds like every year.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of how it always is? A bunch of guys.
Not the last few years. Yeah, I don't know. They're just like not. It just does, even when they're winning games, like something it just doesn't feel right. So yeah, I kind of have a feeling the Wild take care of business.
Yeah, fair. All right, last topic
the Bruins
that we've got to touch on before we go, unless you've got anything else or if we have any remaining questions that are of importance. Grove here. So one source with like 2K followers is saying Yurov is re-signing in Russia. Thank you, by the way, Sean, for appropriate hyphenation, because other people are idiots. That's lame if true.
Yeah, that was a bummer to see. It doesn't surprise me at all. I was kind of wondering if that would happen if he had like a ridiculous year, because like it's his first successful year in the KHL. Is he necessarily going to jump over to the NHL and be like a top 6 player right away? I don't know. Let him do another year of development. Same thing we said with Huzdinov. That's the one I'll be more curious to see, to be honest with you, because I think at this point they probably want him to come over at least. So I'm sure Minnesota's like, yeah, like we're like fine with letting him kind of have that other year of development in the KHL, playing in like a very, well, not very comparable, but some like pretty comparable league to the NHL. So not overly surprising, but like I think any Russian re-signing in the KHL that happens to be in the Minnesota Wild prospect pool, everyone's like, oh no, not again, motherfucker. But I think we should all approach it as like, that means he's just going to come over and do the Kirill thing when he came over, whatever he does.
Going to be much more ready. So. Yeah, that's fair. Now, do you think, because you said, yeah, we probably assume Huzdinanov's coming over next year. Does the injury at all play into whether or not Ogren comes over next year? Like, is there a possibility he stays one more year, or is he more of a lock to come over?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely a possibility. But yeah, I actually don't. That's another. At this point, I'm probably most positive about like Huzdinov coming over. I kind of feel like Ugrin, even he's like kind of a 50-50 because he's even younger and first SHL season. That wouldn't shock me if he did one more year over there. And again, realistically, it kind of depends on who comes and goes this offseason in Minnesota. Like, I feel like we'll have like a better idea almost after the deadline, like over here. Because I mean, again, unless he is looking like a for sure ready to go top 6 NHL guy, I'm sure they're happy to let him develop in the SHL, another really good league for those kids to develop.
I mean, maybe that was the
That
plan.
wouldn't be a shock to either.
That's why Garrett made all the signings before the season even started.
Yeah.
None of them are coming over yet. It's okay.
Because I mean, realistically too, when we actually sit down and try to think about how realistic it was that all three of them were going to come over at the same time and jump into the jump on that roster NHL, ready to go at 19, 18, 20 years old, was a little bit of a stretch. There was no. You think he's ready? You think he's ready? I was like, not all three. If they need all three of them, their top six, they're fucked. If that was an actual plan, then I'm worried about Billy G losing the old fastball. He was yeah, they'll come over, they'll be fine. Let's see. Oh, actually, I did want to say too on the Yurov thing, because I don't know if whoever the kid was, how many of us he tagged, because he tagged. No, I don't think he did. But Yurov is he's now on pace to break the U20 scoring record of the KHL, held by Tarasenko. I think he's on pace for 49 points or something like that. And Tarasenko had 48. Again, but that's just more to point to the fact that he is playing unbelievable this year now that he's been given the opportunity. And I just love that he's doing it, whether it's at wing, and then there's games where he's first line, second line, center. So very, very encouraging, especially after everyone was worried about the development his draft year when they were just benching him for no reason. And then the same exact thing happened the next year. It's oh no, that's 2 years of development pretty much thrown out the window. So just good to see that he's balling out now he's actually playing, because he has been just insane this year for Meadowlark. So good for him.
We like that.
Did you see Ogren's goal in the warm-up game the other day?
No.
First week. Oh my God. I think who are they playing? I think it was Switzerland.
Explain it to me.
He picked the puck up in his own zone, danced someone out of their shoes, in his own zone, just darts through the neutral zone, beats another guy wide, goes shelf, end to end, around and through 3 fucking opponents, and just perfect finish. It was unbelievable. It was sick.
So you're going to send me that clip after we're done here? Good.
Yes. Yeah, Mateo just said, some kid tried to grab on and fucking just basically stiff armed him. And was you could come with me or you could stay the fuck here, but I'm going shelf. It was a sick goal. Oh, and by the way, Riley Height, casual weekend for him. First game, I think it was 1 goal, 4 assists. The next night, 2 goals and an assist, and the assist was it was rude. He just danced the entire team and then put it on a fucking tee, open net for his teammate. It was unbelievable. So he is 63 points or something now in 31 games.
Did Kumpalainen end up making the finish?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that also got announced. Kumpalainen made that team too. So there you go. I was I'm missing something that I was going to bring up about.
Where's he slot in for them?
Probably in the middle 6. If they wanted to play center, then I have him probably third line, but he can play either way, or either center or wing. So I probably assuming they're going to put him right in the middle there. It's an interesting group though, because they're pretty young. I think they're bringing 2 or 3 draft eligibles.
Well, and their stud's not even going to play, right?
Kivi Harye is out still. But they've got another kid. I forget his name. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. But I think they're bringing Hellenius, who's a 2024 eligible.
Yeah.
And then there's one of their defensemen. She's unbelievable. So we'll see. But yeah, I'd expect him to play middle 6, or maybe even actually I could see him playing with the roster they brought. I wouldn't be shocked if he was their second line center or wing.
That would be middle roster. 6.
I guess so. It's always that's what I've always all right, is middle or top 6? Because one of those lines is the middle of the Venn diagram. It's what do we want to call that?
I think he's going to be bottom 12.
Fair enough, Finn. Some would say top 12.
Nah,
No, glass is half empty. Fuck off.
I'm not even gonna say that anymore. I'm a bottom 12 guy, not a top 12 guy.
Me. Yeah, that's all right. I'm a grocery stick, so it's fine. Not worried about it. But I think should do it. Can't fucking wait for that tournament to start. God damn it. It's gonna be amazing. I mean, actually, the warm-up game is underway, so we had little teasers.
Get it.
But that'll do it.
All right.
Just over an hour. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and that's including the wait time at the beginning. So we basically hit an hour, which is like a record low for us.
I know.
Listeners are either going to be thrilled or we're going to find out that there's like 4 that are obsessed with your 3-hour recordings and are going to riot.
I know. I can't believe when it was just me that I would sometimes just be on here like 2.5 hours. Like, oh shit, fuck! I forgot I was doing a podcast.
I was gonna say you're like talking through your grocery list.
To my dog. It's like, oh, this guy.
I will say that was Isha's favorite part of the OG Judd'z Budz when like your dog
was a very funny.
Oh, wait, guys, the dog's back. He's here.
What are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, oh no, he's back. He's back.
That's what were really
some of those clips were. Those clips were pretty funny though. When he would zoom in on my dog's face.
Oh yeah.
Like dog would come in like, fuck this place. And then as soon as I close the door, he'd come back. It's fucking insane. Look at this though. I don't really know what this beer is. Oh, it's a Scotch ale.
Whoa. Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to come on in on Saturday.
Nice.
I just saw the can. I was like, that's an instant purchase because it looks hilarious and it's 8.4. So that'll play.
Is it good?
All right, let's give it a rip actually right now.
You're opening it now. All right.
Yeah. All right. So this will be a 2-hour.
God damn it.
Scotch ale. Oh, look at that. They even got this guy coming in.
Stabler. Pinky out.
Oh, that's. I don't really know. Oh, there's this. There's Scotch in there. Whoa. Yeah.
It's spicy.
So someone put something in there. It's like Jesus. That's interesting. Have you ever heard of Exhibit A Brewing Company? That's what this is. I've never even heard of it.
I don't think so.
Again, I was on my way to just like probably buy a Miller High Life, and then I walked by those. I was like, yeah, need it.
This
is an interesting.
Put so much effort into their can labels.
That's what I was. Remember we were saying this last week or 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm telling you, it would be the best job ever. Is just come up with this fucking ridiculous can art. Love those people. Whoever did that one nailed it. That is interesting. Should do the trick. I don't even know how to describe it because I'm bad.
I don't know where I'm going, but it's gonna get me there.
It's a nail. There's alcohol in it, I would say. And Scotch. Definitely. Jesus Christ. That is. What is this thing? Dude.
D. Drinkability. A. Amber. Yeah. V. Very amber. The Will Ferrell Old Milwaukee commercials are the best.
Exhibit A is in Framingham. Interesting.
Framingham?
Framingham, Mass. It's like 20 minutes from here.
My dyslexia would have immediately turned that into Farmingham.
Yeah, that would have been incorrect, though, wouldn't it? Yes.
Hence dyslexia.
Yeah.
Now, wow. You could probably get booted off the internet for shaming a dyslexic.
You can get booted off anything. Actually, no. Yeah, I was gonna say good things for the internet because you can't really get, but you can actually get only invited back onto Twitter/X at this point. There's no getting kicked off.
It's
unless you don't lead in the. Unless Elon just being a weirdo, which he usually is being a weirdo.
Yeah.
That fucking guy.
Would you like to apologize? Go fuck yourself. But what? Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? Like, how will you make money?
Dude.
We won't. We'll go out of business.
Like, they'll ruin the company. And then they'll say, I was like, what is this? This is a wild sell job. This is that fucking guy. He's such a loser.
I don't know how we ended this episode on Elon, but here we are.
It's because of the scotch.
Yes, the Saturday scotch from Office Space is why we were talking about Elon.
Let me read this. I gotta remember how to read though. Each case of Saturday Scotch Ale supports 41 square feet of local farmland brewed in support of the Northwest Grain Shed with specialty malts from Valley Malt.
I told you it was Farmingham.
You did. All right, this is supporting farmers. Fuck this thing. I'm just kidding. Just in case any farmers are here.
Kind of like those corn Busch Light cans that Isha thought tasted like corn, just like he thought a Busch Latte was actually like a coffee beer.
Like a bush?
Bushel.
That fucking guy. All right. We're now going to turn this episode into me live streaming, putting down all 4 of these and just see where it goes. YouTube's going to love it.
That one's going to need a paywall.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
That would be electric.
Only cans. Done.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, that's the end of this podcast. I have found my new business venture that I will be starting at. It's going to be great. I'm going to love it.
That's my
It's going to work out. Did I tell you that I put in, I bet every puck line the other night in a parlay, a 12-team parlay, like $5 to win 150 grand. First game didn't even come close. I think it was over 12. Not only did any of them cover the puck line, all of them lost. I was just like, that is unbelievable. I didn't even have hope, which is funnier. Because that would be terrible if the last team was the team that
no, that's so much better that you just decidedly lost. Now
I think the Islanders were losing to the Canadians in the first 10 minutes, 3-0. I was just like, all right, well, so there goes that.
Next time you just got to bet both sides of it, full parlay, and then do the opposite parlay.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds like you're guaranteed to win.
Yeah, it's called the old hedge, my friend. But I was just laughing, making the picks. I was like, I can't wait for this to go over 12, and it indeed did go over 12. It was amazing. So shout out me. Really thought I had that one in the bag. Yeah, I guess we should probably end it here.
You pooped in the refrigerator?
No.
And ate the entire wheel of cheese?
Not even mad.
I'm not even mad.
Impressed.
It's amazing. Oh. Sign off.
Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.